is always a thing. After that, we'll get started with Andrew.
Okay. Yes, got it.
I think that's what Igbo came from.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome.
Hi.
We are here. We are here. That song you just heard was from Saka Okoye and his African ensemble from Ghana. Come to find out, reading the Kulu Mele's Angon and the People book, a preview of it, some of that African ensemble came from Philadelphia, including Baba Crowder.
Yes.
That's from the Gold Coast Saturday Night album. It's on Spotify, a Philadelphia record. So that was amazing to lead us in. We are so happy to have Mama Dorothy and Baba John Wilkie with us this afternoon, talking about the history of Kulu Mele. It was going on 50 years as an African dance ensemble. Let me introduce myself, and I also have to introduce myself to them. I'm Chris Rogers, the program director at the Paul Robeson House and Museum. So happy to host this event today. Was so happy to watch the movie, the documentary was screened last week at Black Star. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Directed by Aiden amazing. And also we have on the line John Morrison. John, tell us, well, I know you was an amazing DJ. Tell us a little bit about your Philadelphia background as well.
Well, you know, good afternoon, everybody. Chris, thanks for inviting me. I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. I'm from Uptown, West Oak Lane. I live in South Philly now. And like you said, I'm a DJ, I'm a music writer, general lover of music and Black folks in general.
Yes, so
pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet y'all too.
Yeah, so today's conversation, and I say one reason why I really wanted John to be a part of this conversation for the Wilkies as well is John wrote an article for WXPN about the history of the Philly bop.
Oh.
And from what I understand, y'all are some of the most legendary Philly boppers.
Well, we used to be.
Oh man.
So we can talk about a little bit of the history of the
Okay.
dances and how all those things came together. But our conversation today, and Facina really helped out with the description for today's event. So I want to honor, her framing and her words by reading that directly from the event. So let me pull that up real quick.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So on August 29th at 3:30 p.m., a free live stream discussion, Kulu Mele talks 50 years of Black dance, music, and culture, digs into Kulu Mele's history and these new resources on Philadelphia culture and history, which includes this upcoming book that they're working on, as well as the coloring book I got back there too. Explore the relevance of excellent Black past, presents, and futures with Kulu Mele's Dorothy and John Wilkie, and a conversation hosted by Chris Rogers and John Morrison. Dorothy Wilkie, artistic director of Kulu Mele African Dance and Drum Ensemble, and John Wilkie, music director, joined Kulu Mele in 1971. John Wilkie has been playing percussion since he was young, learning from vanguard Philadelphia musicians. We'll have some time to name those folks as well. Dorothy has been dancing her whole life, beginning with the social dances of the day, and then following a path into African dance, always seeking and learning. From their early days drawing crowds on the dance floor to recent triumphs of Kulu Mele performance, the two are partners in art and life, visionary and humble leadership, anchoring Kulu Mele's long-lasting presence. We were revolutionaries through drums, says Baba John Wilkie. That's such an amazing introduction. Just to get us started, I would love to hear a little bit about, how Kulu Mele came into being and you all's relationship to the music of Philadelphia as it's coming, and the music of Africa as well. So you can give us a bit of an introduction about Kulu Mele and its founding.
Okay. So you want to start? Well,
No.
okay. Well, I always wanted to dance, and Walk, my husband, took me to Baba Crowder, Kulu Mele. Kulu Mele was already in existence. Baba Robert Crowder started the group Kulu Mele, and because I wanted to dance, I was headed towards Arthur Hall's group, but then my husband directed me to Baba Crowder, and he took me and introduced me to Baba Crowder and said, take some classes from here. And that was at the Lee Culture Center at 44th and Haverford. We put a lot of years in there, but I went there and started studying with Baba Crowder as a dancer, and that was my beginning. I'm sure Book can tell you more about where he first seen Bob at. That's what I call him, Bob. I started dancing with taking class from Baba. He taught me everything about dancing, about how to move an African dance, how to use the stage, how to listen to the drum, learn the breaks. And then, Bob had many different things that he would teach besides dance, he was teaching the drumming, and he just took us on different avenues culture-wise.
Right. But I was playing before I met him, but because I was born and raised in North Philly. around 20th and Columbia Avenue, or Cecil B. Moore.
Mm-hmm.
And the local drummers around there was William Powell and Charles Brown. And they were playing. And I met William Powell, and he started teaching me. But he was getting lessons from Bobby Crowder then himself. But I don't know who taught Charles, because Charles was playing. And it wasn't until later years that I went up Bobby Crowder. Bobby Crowder. But you know, Hal had took me to Bob's house on Hicks Street, and he was getting lessons, and I was just sitting there. I was a young boy then, and then I remember seeing Bobby Crowder and them at Broad and Diamond. He had 3 dances. I only remember 2, and the 2 I remember was Sauda and Penny Marshall. And he had Garvin and George Cannon, and I think Sonny Morgan was playing with him. And they're the brothers that soccer picked. They're the brothers that was playing with soccer. But I seen their group, and I liked it. The girls were dancing. They had bells on their waist and bells on their feet. And it was real beautiful. And not only that, Bob and them was playing instruments. Bob was playing guitar. And I think Garvin was on the vibes. Somebody was on bass. They had a music in it. But it was real beautiful. So when later years, when Dottie said she wanted to dance, I took her there. I took her to Bobby Crowder up in West Philly, because that's what I liked. I didn't want to go to Arthur Hall's for other reasons.
And a lot of people, you know, it's a Lee Culture Center, Kulu Mele was like a revolving door. A lot of people came through there and studied with Baba, and then they left, and some of them start their own group. But I stayed there until now, and that was about 45 years ago is how long I've been with them. I started
in soccer's group. Bobby Crowder was in it, and so was Arthur Hall, and so was Miss Ione Nash. So when soccer went back to Africa, and Sonny went to New York, Garvin played with a lot of bands, group bands, and Bob stayed and taught. But and Bob and Arthur and Ione, they always in a group. But Bob and Arthur fell out. So Bob started his thing, Arthur started his thing. And Ione Nash stayed with Arthur a long time before she left and started her thing. So that's a little brief history of that. But,
yeah.
The guys I was playing with was the Afro-American drummers. And I don't know if you was Pal, Charles, and a man named Marshall Bird. And there was a boy named Albino Sam. He was from South Philly. Marshall was from the Village. Charles and them from North Philly. Well, that was all North Philly, but it was 2 districts. So you heard of Robert Kenyatta?
Yeah, definitely.
Yogi? Huh?
I know Robert Kenyatta.
Yeah, he was being taught by Marshall Bird. It come out of that same group where Powell was in. Powell, out of the Afro-American drummers. Wilkie was being taught by Marshall, and I was being taught by Powell and them. And me and Wilkie, we met in high school. We started the group. We started the group in high school.
That's amazing. That's amazing. John, I know you've been doing a lot of work on like recovering so much of our Philly music history. I know you know a lot about like the drum culture. I'm talking the John Morrison. If you could like, tell us a little bit about like your own understandings of that period, and also like this lineage of drummers, because I think we should hear more about as we lift up these names of like what connections can be made. So I don't know, John, if you want to talk about like drumming in Philadelphia for a second.
Yeah, I'm curious as to if it was a common thing for young people during this time in Philadelphia to learn about African drumming and to take, African dance class, because it has a personal resonance with me. My mom studied at Ile Ife as a young lady, and she learned African dance there. So I'm more so curious as about how common this was. Was it like a common thing that young Black folks in North Philly and West Philly were looking for this connection to African drums and African music and dance?
I don't think it was a common thing.
No, it wasn't common. Just it was a few people that was interested in that.
A few.
And it was a few places that you could go to for that.
Yeah. People didn't even want you to hear you playing the drum. Call the cops on you. We used to go out the park and try to play. You call the cops. The cops would come out there, run us out the park.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered how many people were doing it.
What, playing the drums?
And wanting to learn about it. I mean, like young people wanted to learn.
Well, it started off, I was saying it, the Afro-American drummers. First it was Bob, Sonny, Garvin, George Cannon, and a boy named Fats. There was the old head drummers. The next battery that came along was the Afro-American drummers. That was Powell, Charles, Marshall Bird, Albino Sam, and some other guys. A boy named Trevis. He was a young boy. And you remember Trevis? Well, anyway, then after that battery, it was coming slow. It came me and Rogie. We started. They were the pioneers of that thing. It wasn't a real common thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really loved in the film is or instant like is y'all talk about like some people heard it as noise, whereas y'all understood the music.
Right. It didn't touch everybody like it touched certain people.
What was that? Like, what do you think made it like? Was it?
I don't know. Back in the day there was gangs, right? So we had a corner. Now all my corner boys came in contact with the drum because the drum was right around the neighborhood. We used to play on the roofs and different things. Now some of them played it and then they left. But like me and another friend of mine, me and Truck, we stayed with it. But the rest of them went. One of my friends, he went into piano. He started playing piano, and Cullen Knight, he lived right across around the corner from me. He's a trumpet player, So everybody didn't come to the drums. Certain ones,
I know. I was walking down the street. I mean, I love to dance. Like you see in the book. Like they had lunchtime dances and big time dances on Fridays in school, and we was doing the mambo and cha-cha. That was the closest thing to like drumming to me. But I was walking down the street one day and I heard these drums playing, and it just snatched me right up because it just drew me in over top of the pile, where downstairs they were boxing downstairs, and then upstairs the drums was playing. The music drew me up the steps, and I went up there and it was playing drums. They was playing congas. And I said, wow, I like this. And I was allowed to, get into class and take class And that's some of the people. That was Pal, right? Wasn't that
Yeah,
Pal?
Pal and Charles and Albino Salmon was up there.
And this was in the 50s,
And I was
late 50s.
I was up there learning during that time.
But
the dance thing really, you know, it took Arthur Hall, between Arthur Hall and Bobby Crowder's, turned out a lot of dancers had a place to come with Arthur Hall, and they came through with Bobby Crowder. That's when it started spreading there. But that was later, you know, because it was Karen Warrington, Vanjie, and Cal Butcher. There was Archer's main dancers, you know, and I owned, and Penny. But Penny came out of Arthur's, but she ended up at Bob's. She stayed at Bob's for a while. She used to teach Dottie. And then she went to California.
But the thing about her right now is that, like, Carol was one of Arthur's main dancers, and right now her twin daughters dancing been in Kulu Mele over 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You know, so it's passing on down.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But it was, you know, the thing with Arthur Hall, that, you know, a lot of dancers, a lot of people started at Arthur Hall. A lot of dancers, they went through Arthur Hall.
And this is Arthur Hall at Ile Ife.
Yes.
So now, folks should understand is Village of Arts. It's called Village of Arts and Humanities now. At the time,
yes.
Yeah, they changed the name or something. Yeah.
John,
Go ahead.
I would like to hear, because also what I'm reading, and particularly the documentary as well, Mama Dorothy, is also a story of like Yoruba culture and religion, and that experience and how that's shaping the music as well. So I'm also interested of like, there's the music and studying the music, but there's also so much of the culture that's there and making a connection and knowing, getting to know places like Ghana, getting to know the histories of these religions and the dances, the original, so where's that study coming out from? How are you coming?
That came later.
Oh, that came later.
When we start studying Afro-Cuban music, that's where the religion came. The Yoruba religion came through the Afro-Cuban music, because the Cubans kept the Yoruba's religion intact in Montanza and Havana. And they kept the religion intact. So as we learned Afro-Cuban drumming, we learned more about the religion. But we was always playing some of the Afro-Cuban music. We were playing rumba, and merengue and all that kind of stuff. All that's Afro-Cuban. But later on, we start playing the bata drums, which is the sacred drums from Cuba. And that's where the religion comes in. The religion comes through them bata drums.
And that came from Nigeria by way of Cuba.
Yeah, it came from Nigeria, but the system was intact in Cuba. And that's where it was really came up, because there was nobody here from Nigeria playing the bata drum. The bata, you know, we didn't learn the bata system from Nigeria. Now, today, it's becoming prevalent. And today in New York, places like that, Neil and all of them, they're playing the Nigerian way. But when we first started, we were studying the Cuban way, the Cuban the Yoruba religion from Cuba. And that's where the religion came in, through that. You know, because after a certain, you play bata drums, and to get into religion, you had to go through rituals. You had to go through rituals to play sacred drums. You had to go through, you know, initiations, stuff like that. So, but we brought all of that to Kulu Mele. We brought that to Kulu Mele. Well, me and Bob and Adewole was the first, with Facundo, Lamb, and Peachy. me, Adewale, and Bob, and Kenny, we started studying the Afro-Cuban bata. You know, somebody had brought a book down with the music. We were studying notes at first until we ran into the folks.
The Cubans ran into the Cubans came here.
Yeah, the Cubans. When Castro kicked them out of Cuba,
Oh yeah.
On that boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when it came. And then that's when we start getting it from the horse's mouth. You know? So that's where the religion came in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also with the dance, could you tell us like a little bit of like the dance community and a little bit of like the generation? I know it wasn't all Black women, but it seems to be, you know, primarily, you know, held by Black women. Mama Dorothy, of like the generations of Black dancers. Like,
well, it was mostly Black women.
Yeah, like
we never had.
Okay.
What's the question?
I would love to hear about like, as we heard from Baba John about like the generations of Black drummers. I would love to hear from you about like the generations of Black dancers.
Well, like I said, they came through Kulu Mele like a revolving door.
Mm.
You know, they would come in and study and then, you know, leave. Everybody didn't want to give their life to it like I did.
Mm.
Some people, you know, just want to just get a part of their culture, just feel their culture, you know, feel the drum. And then some wanted to just, you know, dig in like me. So
and Arthur had a lot of dancers come through there.
So I mean, it's just, you know, it's plentiful now because, you know, we got YouTube and we have CDs and, you know, stuff is televised.
And African people here, Cuban people here, everything.
And it's more now, more people are more interested in the cultural dance. You know, we have West African professional indigenous Africans coming here with teaching their culture, their dance, you know, giving classes. It's just real plentiful now. And it just, you know, women all over are interested, white and Black.
Yeah. See, that djembe drum came here later. Darryl Burgee, when he started that djembe, well, it started with in Arthur Hall. It started with Pharrell, Bobby Artis. They started it, and Quasi and Steve, when they got it, and Chucky, when they got it, and they really perfected it, and they started the group Jasu Ballet. That was like the first West African djembe group in the city, you know, and that started that, you know.
And I was a part of that as well.
Yeah, she was a part of that as well, and so was I. You know, we learned that. We took that to Kulu Mele. But before that, we wasn't playing no djembe drums in Kulu Mele. We was playing congas and whatever, bells and stuff like that. We was doing the Ghanaian stuff. It was West African, but it was Ghanaian. It wasn't djembe. Then we took the djembe, and we was doing everything. We was playing djembe, bata, congas, you know.
So, and then we teach it to our children, you know, we pass it on. A lot of children are interested in it. We have a Omo Kulu Mele small company, and, you know, we passing it on down.
All my children just about came through Kulu Mele. They did something in there for a while. But then my grandkids, they danced in it, you know. And my son and my daughter still dance in it. And they're grown now. You know.
And their kids dance in it.
And their kids dance. Yeah, that's how you tell time.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, for the social dancing, me and Dottie was doing that from 60s on up. I've been doing it and from the 50s. And you seen that tape? You seen us slopping, right?
Yeah. In the film.
You see that?
Yeah.
You ever seen that dance again? The young girl told me, said, "Oh, they doing the George Jefferson." Yeah, but but that came out of nowhere. We was doing social dancing. That was my first love.
What were some of the dances that y'all used to do in like the 50s and 60s?
Well, in school, we did mambo, cha-cha, merengue. In school, they had it in junior high school. I was dancing to that in junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
And
the bop and the slop.
It was, the bop, the slop. I'm just talking about the Latin American dance. They had cha-cha, merengue, mambo, the bop, the slop, the strand, and the slow drag. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But, after it seemed like before I graduated, before I graduated from junior high school, they took the mambo, the merengue, the cha-cha, they took that out of the school. They took the drums out of the school.
Mm-hmm.
There was no drums. Because before we was dancing to Tito Puente, Joe Loco, even Bob was playing in a group called Chris Powell and the Five Blue Flames. We danced to his music. I didn't even know him then. But we was dancing to that. They took all that out. But we still did the cha-cha. We still did the cha-cha in school without the drum. We would do the cha-cha to Mary's Well, You Beat Me to the Punch, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I Got Two Lovers and all that. We heard the cha-chas
in the rhythm.
In the
right?
in the dancing, in the rhythm and blues. We heard cha-cha and mambo and stuff in the rhythm and blues. So we kept doing it, so but but by the time my son and them got there, that wasn't even happening. By the time the whoop got the Vox to the junior high school, that wasn't even going down. They was doing some other stuff then. They was battling and all that kind of stuff. The dance changed,
Mm-hmm.
The social dances changed when we danced with a woman and everything. That kind of changed up. And they
I did want to ask y'all how the social dancing that Black folks have done over the years, how they've changed, and if you could talk about how you've seen them, change and evolve over the years.
Yeah, but they stopped. They really don't dance close no more. We dance the strand, which is really a ghetto ballroom. You see how you do the ballroom, but professional ballroom. But they used to do the strand, and it was real slick. It was real slick. You keep moving it, and the slow drag, where you slow drag with a woman. They kind of like when my son went to junior high school, that wasn't even going on. No more dancing with the woman. The dudes was battling each other doing hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
The hip hop, and right now I don't see too many dances where a man and a woman dance together.
Yeah.
Unless it's grinded. I mean, what they call it?
Wally's.
Wally.
They probably know the name of it.
Yeah. They do them dances, but they don't dance. They don't really dance together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really hurt the relationships too. I really did.
Well,
I know, because one of them slow drags come on by Smokey Robinson, and you dance with a girl. When that record was over, you was in love. Yeah, you was in love. But I tell you about Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, if he catch you grinding, he grab you by your ear, throw you out the dance.
Toss you out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But that kind of dancing faded out.
Mm-hmm.
Other dancing it's a different thing.
Yeah.
So we had the crossfire,
Oh yeah, we had the crossfire,
the hitchhike,
the
monkey. So
the Watusi.
it's different, different ones come out.
You know, when we was coming up, new dancers would come through the neighborhood maybe every 3 weeks or something like that. The dance would go from the shoulders to the legs to the hips. You know, it was really a beautiful time during that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone who's watching on YouTube and giving us comments and questions. We're going to be integrating those soon enough. We're planning, we started at 3:30, planning to go until about 4:30, 4:45 before we close. So, you know, thanks for continuing to comment, continuing to share, continue to let people know that we're here. Question I have, and what I love, the one thing I saw in the book is the principles of Kulu Mele that are helping guide how y'all mentor and teach the next generation. And I would love to hear you all sort of speak about, you know, what is it, how do you teach the drums? How do you teach dance? Is it a feeling? How do you like mentor young people to understand the importance, the sacredness, the funk, the looseness of dance, and how it like is about like integrating people into a culture? So how do y'all mentor?
Well, when you first you hear the music and it touches you. That's the first part. When you first part, you hear it and it touches you and you want to dance to it. Now, as far as the drum, you have to go to classes. We have a teacher, Brother Ira Bond. He teaches a class every week. He was teaching. I don't know if the pandemic stopped it, but he was teaching every week. You go to class, you bring your drum, and you sit down and you get mitted. What I mean mitted, you put your hands, show you how to hit the drum, touch the drum. You have to go through that. You just you know, it ain't enough for you to just have soul. Somebody got to show you how to deal with it. So he teaches that way. That's what we used to teach. Bobby Crowder was come by and check you out. You wasn't hitting the drum right. He smacked your hand. He was a hard teacher. You know, he was a hard teacher. That's why a lot of people couldn't stay with Bob, because he was rough. You know, but he was a good teacher. You know, and he wouldn't let you get no big head. So, you know, once you learned a couple of beats. But that's how you learn. And for the dance, we got 2 dancers, Alma and Cachet. Phew. And Lakey and all of them, they good teachers for the women. They teach you how to step.
They teach you how to sit into the movement. They teach you how to listen to the drum, listen for the break, the call. It tells you when to stop, start, change.
Yeah, they got some young drummers now playing them djembes. They got it. They got it. Terrell, Bratis, Yusuf, and Ira. Anybody else?
There's plenty of them. Universal Company.
Yeah, the Universal Company from over in Jersey, from Camden, Brother Rob and them and his group. They got that thing. They got that West African thing. They got it and gone.
It makes me feel so good to see the culture still living and growing with young people and still passing it on, because if it wasn't for us, the culture would be lost,
Right. And each generation has its music. Each generation got its own music. Like we had a part of Afro-Cuban, they got West African, and that's their music, and they're killing it. Yes, they are. Yeah.
I would also, about keeping the music alive, I really love the influence of, if you could talk a little bit about the influence of Odunde, right? I mean, we couldn't have it this year with the COVID and social distancing.
Right.
But Odunde has, for me coming up, that was the space where I expected to like be around the drum circle, to see many of these African dance groups have a space to perform in front of thousands.
Right.
I know y'all probably been involved with Odunde since the beginning.
From the first.
So you could talk about a little bit about that history with Odunde and what it means and how that like really puts on for the culture.
Well, we was a part of the first one, from the first to
from the beginning.
We did all of them from the beginning. But Odunde was a place for the people in the neighborhood, people that wasn't drummers, and for like you said, for like yourself, to witness it, to see it, and to let everybody know that it was this is a part of our culture. We have hip hop and whatever, and this is a part of it too. And that's where a lot of people, if they see it, they want to learn it and they seek information, you know. But we did all kind of doom days. We carried congas down to the river. We did bells down to the river, shakers, and everything. And then in later years, we start playing bata down to the river. So Doom Day is a beautiful thing. That's our thing. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people get a chance to see African dance.
Yeah.
Where they would never see it.
Right.
If it wasn't for Odunde, you know, a lot of groups come in and perform. They get a chance to see West African dance, Afro-Cuban dance, and of course, our social dance.
Right. And then they have down Odunde on the wall. The guys be playing the drums sitting on the wall. Then they have the Brazilian influence. At Odunde, they have a circle, the Brazilian circle. Then over on the side, they have the Afro-Cubans. And then on the other side, they got all the brothers that get together that just want to play and just start hitting. They play, you know, it'd be a whole bunch of guys playing. And like Peachy used to say, they'd be playing so much stuff to it come up right. You know, it'd be but they'd be playing, and if you wanted to just go and play, you could just go right over there where they was. But if you wanted to go sit with the Afro-Cubans, you had to know what you're doing. If you had to go sit with the Brazil, you got to know what you're doing. But if you wanted to go to that drum circle over there, you could just go over there and sit and play. If you had an instrument, you could start playing, and everything else. Odunde was real beautiful. Yeah.
Lois had the Huckabuck, the hip hop down Odunde too. So we represented Odunde with the Huckabuck and hip hop to different places doing the bop.
Yeah. We went through the school system doing the bop, the slop, and the cha-cha, and the strand.
And yeah, we were teaching the children how to bop and slop.
But were you teach them or just demonstrated?
We demonstrated the bop.
Yeah, we demonstrated the bop. We demonstrated the bop and the slop. We used to do assemblies in the morning. And I tell you, when that girl seen us slopping, she said, "Oh, he doing the George Jefferson." You know, because that's what they see it on TV. That cracked me up. But
she sent us to a bop conference
yeah, she sent us to a bop conference, a swing conference in Atlanta, where they did all facets of the swing. And the bop was just a facet of the swing. And everybody that did that swing dancing was putting on exhibitions, and then the next day, the people that watched, they'd come to your class if they wanted to learn it. You know, but I seen some dancing there, and these Europeans, they won the competition. They was terrible, and they had they had a what's his name? The dude that started this.
the swing.
Huh?
I'll never
He
think.
started the Lindley. He was doing the Lindley House. I remember he was about 81 years old then. And he the one started, they all in New York, when they was doing the swing, they was just doing it. But then he came, and when this guy named Lindley that flew from New York to Paris, he flew across the first flight. His name was Lindley. And he flew from New York to Paris or something like that. They created a dance about that called it Lindley House. And that's when they started throwing the girls through their legs and up over their shoulders and all there. They had them people had that they had that thing going on at that convention, at that that thing we went to. And it was amazing. You know, and they got different facets of the bop, because where they do the stepping at?
Chicago.
Right.
That's a different phase of the bop, but it's the bop. It's part of that swing thing. It's slick. It's slick too. You know.
We had the Strand, and what's the one that just died that was teaching the Strand?
Otis.
Yeah,
Otis did the Strand. He was a master of that.
He's from Philadelphia.
He's from Philadelphia. He just passed away. You know? Otis was Otis was in his 80s. You know, and he danced with all they had dances back in the day too. You know, but I was young. When we was young, he was doing that stuff. You know, Playtel and all that.
Yeah, but people was going to him taking classes now.
People was going to classes now, taking classes from Otis for the Strand.
Talking about the Europeans, we had a question coming from YouTube from Miriam Williams, who was asking about integrating. Through Kulu Mele, how do you feel about white people's presence at like these West African and Afro-Cuban dance classes and cultural events?
Oh, it's hey, hey, what can you say? You know, it's beautiful. But it's ours. You know, they can do it, but it's ours. You know, that's how I feel. You know, it belongs to me, and it's good that you want to do it. But you know, look, they have infiltrated every facet of our music. They do it all. The jazz, it's the fact of them playing jazz. You know, they had Benny Goodman, the king of swing. Yeah, he's the king of swing. But what about Duke and Count?
Count Basie, yeah.
Yeah, but they made him the king of swing. They made Elvis the king of rock and roll. That's what they do. You know, so.
Chris, can I say?
Huh?
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I come out of hip hop, right? Like I grew up in hip hop culture, and I've had people.
Eminem.
right.
Eminem making more money than Dr. Dre now.
And I've had people ask me like, what do you think about white people in hip hop? Y'all can do hip hop, y'all can DJ, y'all can rap and break dance and everything. But I think that the problem that happens, especially here in America, is that Black people, we come up with this stuff and then it becomes a universal thing, as opposed to it's our culture that other people appreciate.
Right.
I think that white people struggle with just appreciating. You know what I mean? It's they're always, like you said, the king of swing. Eminem is the greatest rapper.
Yeah.
King of rock and roll.
They want to claim it. They take it from you.
I said to a guy, I said something about hip hop being Black culture, coming out of Black culture, and this guy had a problem with me saying that. And I was like, imagine me going to, I don't know, or if I wanted to play bagpipes or Irish music, and people having a problem with you saying that that's Gaelic culture, or you having a problem with Japanese culture being Japanese culture. Right. Nobody has a problem with that. It's just only when it's Black folks.
Right.
Yeah.
And what we do influenced the whole world. You know, when we went to Africa, we went to Africa to learn, learn djembe from the Africans. Them young boys wanted to learn. I took my son my son and his boys, we had a little hip hop thing we did inside the West African thing. Dottie inserted it, and they seen it on national TV because we went to the embassy, and we played at the embassy. When they seen that, they wanted that's what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted the hip hop thing. Them young boys, they took my sons and all, and they took them to the village. We stayed in the compound. They took them to the village. Mm-hmm. They wanted that hip hop thing.
Yeah.
You know, so the things that we do influences the world too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have European guys that play djembe real good. And just, you know, because he took Bemba, Michael Marcus. Mm-hmm. He took him Bemba, one of our dance teachers. He took him to Africa, set up a learning thing where they take Europeans to Africa, and they have classes and dance. They stay there for a month and back and forth, and it's a paycheck for him. Mm. So he you know, so they learn the culture.
Yeah.
You know, because they got the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, but it's all right, like you say. I don't, you know, as long as they acknowledge where it came from.
Yeah. As you all are, and I'm when I watched the movie, I think you both sort of mentioned that it's like you kind of just do rehearsals, you go to practice, you do the performance, and before you know it, it's been 50 years.
Yeah.
That's so.
You know, I'm telling you, we shot into the future like a cannon.
Each decade each decade gets faster and faster.
Yeah. Next thing I know, they was talking about, well, let's have a 50-year celebration. I say 50 years, man.
Yeah.
You know, but
time flies.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of these, like the book, the movie, there's an ongoing fundraiser which has been posted into the YouTube chat, people to continue to support, is about like the next 50 years and the vision for what's upcoming.
Right.
So as this thing, you know, continues to move on into the future while still holding many of these names and the people who laid the foundation for Kulu Mele, you know, what's on the horizon? Like what's coming up, and what do people need to know about, you know, supporting and sustaining this work?
Well, we need to we want to try to keep it going. We have a video that we put out, you know, trying to come out into the new world. The world that we knew it has ended. And now we got to figure out how to step into the new world,
and we got to get young people incorporated into the group, because without the young people, it dies. You know, you have to have young people to come in and get in it. You know,
I want to try to keep the company's morale going, because you can't rehearse like we used to. We're trying to find a way to come together safely, to practice and, you know, just try to keep it going so we can continue to learn and continue to present, and, you know, to get our children back in the classrooms again.
Right.
So it's a challenge, you know. But we're trying to find a way to keep it going. You know, we've been rehearsing outside. We have some residencies coming up next year. We probably won't have our annual show this year. We'll probably do it virtually, but we trying to get ready for next year. Mm-hmm. So. Just trying to find a way to, you know, to step into the world safely.
Yeah. So as we begin to sort of transition here into open Q&A, we got some things from the chat. And John, if you got anything to sort of like ask, I'm gonna go through the YouTube and see what questions are out there.
Okay.
and begin to integrate those. I think
Okay.
before we finish today, I want to
Okay.
show the
How
trailer.
much time we got?
I'd say about 10 to 15 minutes. Is that all right?
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna get y'all out of here. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ain't a real talker, but yeah.
You said it. We got some great stories though. Tell you that. And we'll work on that. So John, if you got something, I'm gonna go find some final questions, and then I'm gonna play the trailer before we leave too, to make sure people know about the movie.
You know what I did want to ask y'all. Once y'all started learning African dance and music, this is the 50s, right?
Right.
What did y'all
50s.
what did y'all family and like your neighbors think about that?
My father told me, he said the young people will make y'all. That's what he told me. He told me, he said the young people will make y'all, you know.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that's how he put it. He was a man of few words. But I told him, I said, Dad, I want to play drums and stuff like that. I said, I'm gonna make history. I'm gonna make history. He said, look, he said the young people will make y'all. In other words, where we was in, he said, I guess what he meant was the young people coming, just like we Kulu Mele, when we taught, Dottie taught at the University of Penn. So, and when they graduated, the ones that didn't leave town came to Kulu Mele. And it was like an insurgent of young people that came through and gave the group a shot in the arm. You know what I mean? That's
Keep giving a group life.
It gave us life. It gave us life. So when the young people come, they give you life. That's and that has to happen. The old people, because a lot of girls went this way, that way, had got married, had this, you know, all kind of stuff. So you had to have young people. Okay. So he was right about that. You know, but the neighbors, I had a good neighbor, Miss Stell. She said, y'all put me to sleep over there, playing them drums. I had a good neighbor. I had a good neighbor across the street, you know. But in the 50s, when we first started, you know, that was like noise to a lot of people. It wasn't even, they didn't even need, they had to force to, as far as I'm concerned, they had to force the drum in jazz. Jazz didn't need you. If they didn't have you, they still would play. You know, but the guys played, start adding, and then when Diz was a big help because he put Channel Pozo, and they came with the Latin jazz, which was good. But them guys, they didn't, you know, I played with Sam and Earl Grubbs. It was Coltrane's nephews. And I told Richie Lee, I said, Richie Lee, if we wasn't playing here, they don't need us. Even though we add something to it. But if we're not playing, they don't need us.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, they was fighting on all fronts, getting in the music. And
the family was very supportive.
Yeah.
You know, they come and see us.
Yeah, later years.
Yeah.
Later years. You know.
Okay.
You know, like it don't interest everybody.
No.
That's right. That's right. We did have just one thing that I think you said earlier, very early in the conversation, Baba John, about sometimes people will call the cops on you playing drums.
Yeah, that was in the 50s. That's the 50s. See, when we got by the time we got to Bow, that was like in 70s.
Early 70s.
Early 70s. But in the 50s, them people, man, they call the cops on you. You be playing, you know, and you couldn't play. We try to go out the park. And them guys ride up on horses up on you. You know?
Yeah, it's such like, you know what I mean, as I know, Amiri Baraka has that amazing poem of them trying to ban the drums, and
Oh yeah,
from the time when we was enslaved and they wouldn't let us have drums.
right.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
a similar thing,
Yeah,
right?
that-
Happening throughout history.
That's what they talk about, praying in the bucket. There was a song out, you know, people steal away. Steal away was another one, another spiritual song. You had to steal away and practice your culture.
Yeah.
You know, you had to pray in. They said praying in the bucket. It's like we had to go down in the cellars and play, in different places. It wasn't popular back then. You know, it slowly came, but it was kind of hard.
Yeah. My final one before I play this video. I know y'all rep Vaux High School or Vaux Junior High well. I say they got the shirt in the movie. Yeah, you mentioned it a lot about the dances that's at Vaux. I know for a while it was, I mean, they closed Vaux for a while and then it's back open again. But tell me a little bit about y'all history. And it seems like multiple generations of your family also went through Vaux.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about like your love for that, you know, public school and, you know, what it means to like be part of that Vaux community.
Oh man.
Well, that was my favorite time of my life. Going to school was in junior high school because, you know, you had your elementary school, your junior high, and then your high. But in between there was Vaux, the junior high. And
elementary, you stayed in one class all day long.
Right. But then junior high, you get to switch classes.
Right. But then they had in Vaux, they had on Friday, they had lunchtime dances where you go up on the roof and dance. And then that evening they had the main dance downstairs. Oh man, that was
in the gym. Yeah.
In the gym. Man, that was beautiful. And then Vaux, Miss Thurgood, Miss Tree, what's her name? Thurgood, and they would put on annual shows with the drum, with what they called interpretive dance. They called it interpretive dancing then. And she was a teacher that would put on. She had drummers, because Magubli and all of them used to play for her at the end of the year. But Vaux was the place, man. Vaux, that was it.
It was 10 cents for the lunchtime dance and 25 cents for the after school dance.
Yeah, man, I swallow my food in one gulp and I'm gone up on the roof.
I used to hustle and scrub steps so I can get my money together so I can get to the dance. I have to get to the dance.
Yeah, Vaux, man.
Oh my God, I didn't know scrubbing steps was like a huge economy back then.
Oh yeah. Just like you said, you had to get up early because it was competition.
Not cut grass, scrubbing steps. That's a city. Oh my God, that's a thing.
Yeah, we scrub steps, man.
We was just talking about that.
Yeah, we was talking about we scrub steps, take orders, go around the supermarket with your wagon, take orders.
Carry people's groceries home, yeah.
Huh?
Carry people's groceries home.
Carry people's groceries. And you have to come back and fight the thugs to keep your money. They try to take it from you. Yeah,
but John, I'm about to play this video, but you got anything you want to throw in before I do that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, the journalist John, I'm sorry.
No, I agree. Go ahead.
Oh.
Right, cool. Let's get the video going. We're gonna show y'all a little bit of trailer. It accomplishes two things, right? It's gonna talk a little bit about the documentary that was put together that I'm sure it just screened at Black Star, and I'm sure there'll be more opportunities to view it in the future. But also it highlights the importance of contributing to the fundraiser that is ongoing for Kulu Mele as they continue their work, past 50 years. So I'm gonna show this trailer. We're gonna come back, do a final word, and close this thing out.
Okay.
Let's play this.
You know, when we started, it was young, it was fun. Through the years, we just almost like we shot out of a cannon into the future. Boom.
That's a heck of a picture.
You know what I mean? You know, that all of a sudden now you You know, you're looking for somebody to take it over. I don't know.
Yeah, now all of a sudden it's 50 years.
Yeah, 50 years.
50 years. You know, my thing now is just trying to get funding.
Mama Daddy and Baba Wilkie are some of the most loving, giving people I have ever met. They're living legends when it comes to their capacity to just share the art form with us and ask for nothing in return.
We all feel honored to have been able to dance and drum with them and to learn under them.
You know, they're getting older. It's time for them to be able to pass the torch. And we would like them to be able to relax and live comfortably and know that the art will continue.
Please, dig deep. All the way to the bottom.
They deserve that. They deserve to be able to sit back and watch all the work that they've done flourish and thrive.
Pick it all up. Drop it in the bucket.
Just a simple way of saying that we appreciate you. Just a simple way of saying thank you.
We will keep it going for 50 years.
Yes, we're gonna make it work. Our kids and our kids' kids and our kids' kids' kids.
I go. That's what that is.
Oh, yeah.
I go.
Young people.
Okay.
Okay.
That was beautiful. So final words, final thoughts. John Morrison, let's see if we can begin with you.
I appreciate y'all.
Let me stop that.
Thank y'all so much. I don't really have anything much in as far as final words. I appreciate the work that y'all do, and I'm glad that I was able to listen to y'all and learn.
Okay.
Boy,
I hope we explain something. You know, I hope, because I'm not a real good talker, but I hope that we made some things plain. That you learned a little bit about the history of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank you for having us. We're trying to still pass the torch and hold the torch and pass it. So, you know, keep looking out for us. We coming back. We're gonna step out here in this new world. I want everybody to be safe, and we got to live. We got to still live. We got to keep moving. Find a way to move safely. Live.
Yes, live. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us and making way and pivoting through the technology issues to be with us for a moment. Continue to, we'll lift up the fundraiser in the chat. The link is there. Continue to support. They're on their way. They're 75% to their goal of $10,000. Continue to donate, continue to support. Let's go beyond the goal. So that information will be there. Once again, I'm Chris Rogers, the program director at the Paul Robeson House and Museum. Also, Baba Zumbi, who was at the Paul Robeson House and Museum, says what's up.
All right.
Drummer.
All right.
So thank you all. And
thank you. I look forward to meeting you in person.
Yes. Talk to you all soon. And thanks, Deborah, for helping put this together.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Deborah. Bye.
Bye-bye.